Welcome to Growing Belleville Through Community Chats, a podcast presented by the Greater Belleville Chamber of Commerce to help highlight, promote, and enlighten people, businesses, and community events in the Greater Belleville area. Here are your hosts, Stephen Sedlak and Eric Huber.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Growing Belleville Through Community Chats. I am your co-host, Stephen Sedlak, along with Mr. Eric Huber. How are we, Eric?
Doing well, Stephen. Recording this podcast right now, but just like Midwest weather we were just talking about, early November, and it's 75, 80. I'm ready to get the golf clubs back out and the golf shorts and get on the course again.
Yeah, I think it's a precursor to how this winter is going to be. I think they're getting us now, and the winter's just going to be horrible in the black abyss.
Yep.
Anyway,
just when you thought it was time to get the Christmas tree out, it's time to think about summer again.
That's right. Well, speaking of Christmas tree, we have with us today Jeff and Zach Bair with us from Grimm and Gorly and 422 and the Bungalow as well, correct?
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, well, thanks for joining us. You guys could kind of just give that 10,000-foot overview of yourselves, a quick introduction, and kind of the three businesses you guys have rocking and rolling on Main Street here.
So we've been at this location on the corner of Grimm and Gorly. It's been here since 1959, and so we've had it for 25 years of that span of time, and we've grown it, and we're thrilled about it, and very excited. And then I'd say like 16 years ago, the building that was attached, we acquired and became the coffee shop 11 years ago. And then about a year ago, exactly almost a year ago, right around New Year's Eve, Zach purchased the Bungalow, which is 2 doors down, and that's become another entity. So we just kind of keep going. Someone just said to us, when's the rest of the block going to happen?
Yeah.
I don't know if we have the energy for another part of the block, but you know, thank you. Yeah.
Don't just stop at the block. Keep going. Go as far as you can.
Well, now that Carl Gilpin's just finished his 300, so it'll be a nice, just about right on up to that. Guys, I'm kidding. Still, yeah. It's just a joke.
No, well, wait a minute. You guys do have quite the footprint there on Main Street. Kind of, everybody, of course, in there knows Grimm and Gorly and Port, 22. What about? Let's talk about the Bungalow to start with, since that's the newest venture. Kind of what do you guys have going on with that? I'm sure there's a lot of people that have kind of question marks about it.
Yeah, so the Bungalow is just a private event space. I mean, it was a home until I think early to mid 80s, and then it sort of became a series of, I would say unfortunate events, but I think some of the people we've talked to said it's the best memories they have of Belleville. I think for a while it was a, quote unquote coffee shop or illegal bar. They had bands playing on the second floor. They had all kinds of stuff going on in there, and then after that, it was a small boutique, and I think after that, it was, I know for a fact, it was a vintage tea room. But there were a couple things in between there. But it's one of the few existing actual physical houses, or for lack of better phrasing, a bungalow, on Main Street. What is currently now the Spice Shop. Anything that was in the Spice Shop was always owned by the family that lived in that bungalow. So it was sort of one and the same. And it's got quite a history. I mean, it's got a history of hauntings, apparently. And so it's got it's a great little space. I mean, it's a capacity of 40 for interior. We have about 16 that can seat in the courtyard, and we're hoping to expand in the back. We want to do something kind of interesting back there to give it a bit more of a presence. But it's worked out really well. We do a series of luncheons every week for a multitude of groups, and we have private events that occur on the weekends and throughout the weeknights, and it's going pretty well. I mean, we had our first events booked before we actually opened. So that was kind of incredible to have, and it's just a sweet space. We're pretty happy with it.
It is kind of, I don't want to say an outlier, but it is kind of that unique property where it's still kind of the house aspect to it, as opposed to everything else on Main Street that is more of a business front, storefront. So it does have that kind of curb appeal that you just don't see with most of the other buildings in Belleville.
Absolutely.
We closed in that porch this summer. Well, I shouldn't say we. So a couple of people that we hired closed in the porch this summer. We got the doors, though. We found those.
Good find those.
Yeah, we found the doors.
It was done by people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, because we do not. We do not. But, we make wood flowers. But
great ideas.
Yeah.
That's all you need, right?
That's right. That, a big fat checkbook, Eric.
Anyway, that's right. Thanks, buddy. You can do anything you set your mind to if the checkbook's big enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so that's been great. That's all done, and we're excited about that because that's made the porch then the permanent bar. So that's kind of nice. And so people tend to like that. They can get out there and sit down a minute and get away from the other people, which, there's always those people
At a party.
Yeah, it's funny. No matter what, sitting next to the bar is the best place to be.
Yep.
And so that's kind of fun. So yeah, it's really been a good thing. And so got a lot of bookings these next 5 or 6 weeks at the end of the year. So that's awesome. And just kind of trying to roll that in between everything that's going on here with still wedding season for us. And then of course the holiday decorating started literally today. So we were out.
Yeah, it started about 3 weeks.
3 weeks ago, but
it started quote unquote officially today.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we kick it off the day after we get over Art and Wine Walk, but we're on our third or fourth facility already. But actually, houses started today, so that's when we were getting serious. Because turkey tastes the exact same whether the tree's up or not.
that's right.
I just got moving, so it's the most fun it can be. A little glitter turkey goes a long way.
I know plenty of people who the next morning, the minute after Halloween is over, all the Halloween decorations go away, and it's just full Christmas mode, and everything is out by the end of that day, of November 1st.
Amen, brother. Yeah. Amen.
I'm not that way. I know a lot of people that are that way, though.
Well, we have to be that way in order to be.
Yes.
But honestly, it's gotten to be a thing. So I know if our Christmas doesn't go up at home immediately, it just doesn't go up. So, it's got to happen right away. So I'm still struggling this last week here. I can't quite get it down. Can't quite get it together, but struggling a little bit at home. So we'll get it done. It'll be fine.
Jeff, a question I have for you. Obviously, Grimm and Gorly been there, like you said, since '59, right there on the corner, been a staple for a while. Adding the coffee shop, adding Bungalow, was that always maybe in your vision? Was it just opportunities that you saw there on Main Street that you said, hey, I can't pass this up, let's figure out something or what to do? Tell us about kind of the expansion on Main Street and kind of what we ask everybody. Why downtown Belleville? What attracts you to that location?
So, when I was growing up, this was the place to shop. So, my grandmother and my mother, that was their favorite pastime, shopping. And so we would come to downtown Belleville twice a week, Mondays and Fridays. And so we would come down here, we would shop down here. And I always saw this building and it had wrought iron at the top, white stucco. And I said to my grandmother, that's a great building. I want that building. And she said, so buy it. Hence we did. And so
that.
Yeah, that easy. However, I always wanted to add like candy and chocolates and coffees and have all that together here. But, the space we were in was limited as far as what we could do. And so we added in the cupcakes before we ever bought the building next door. And did the cupcakes from a kitchen in the back. We added a kitchen in the back room. And then we were able to acquire the building. And then it took us some years to be able to repair the building because, the buildings were older. They had not been kept in great shape. And so we had to fix roofs and put in new plumbing and, come to code with everything in order to put the coffee shop in. So it was definitely a haul to do all that, but it's been absolutely worth it. I can remember when we opened the coffee shop and, we were like, we'd have 4 or 5 customers. We thought we were rocking the world. Now you get like, in the morning on a Saturday or a weekday, you get 40 or 50 between 7 and 9. You're like, holy crap, what's happening here? And it's awesome, So it's been a real great experience. And it's just truly been like a dream come true. And Zach coming aboard, I say he came aboard as a partner probably like 10 years ago, but in essence, really, he was about 9 years old when I threw him into the mix and said like, this is live or die, buddy. We got to do this. So, we were doing an event in St. Louis and I just said, hold down that hoopah because it's windy. Do not let it fly anywhere, and I'll see you in a little bit. Here. And so that was the end of it. He was kind of a business partner from there on. So, in a great way. It's been a good growing experience. I always tell people I'd rather fight with him for 5 days than somebody else for 5 minutes. So,
sometimes we fight for 5 days straight.
Yes, and don't speak. Pass each other in the hall. But, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. We know where it's going to end up at some point. We have to sign each other's checks. So it has to be.
We have to
speak. Yeah, by Friday anyway.
Or through text is usually better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know how that father-son dynamic in the workplace goes. And
yes, you do, don't you?
Luckily, I was able to put my office far enough away from my father's that when we do have those little squanders that we both kind of just separate and don't, it just kind of wash out. So I pushed him towards the back of the building on his way out the door. So, and he's okay.
You got that Carlisle Avenue view, do you?
That's right. Yes, I do. It's very pretty out here. But that's it. I do want to touch on that. Of course, I know that dynamic very well, but it is a kind of a good and bad at sometimes, right? And any partnership it could be tough, right? The family dynamic makes it different. What besides, I guess, what has made it be successful for you guys?
Because I think we both have the same common goal. I mean, we
do.
Yeah.
And very true.
We love the community.
We do. And we in everything we do, it should, when you own a business, it should be you all the time. And at the end of the day, it is us, because if we don't succeed, we can't be a part of the community, and we can't be a part of affecting the community in a more positive manner. But, I think sometimes at risk of ourselves, we do think community first more than anything. Because we like, I was raised in a household where, you help those that can't help themselves in as much a capacity as humanly possible. And we always have, but I don't know. I mean, despite popular belief, he and I have polar opposite tastes. I mean, certain things we agree on, but 9 times out of 10, we are quite literally just bickering about whether or not we like anything. Like when I opened some of this Christmas product, I mean, we had words, because I don't sit with him and pick it out, because I just don't take the time. But, he shouldn't be the one that's being punished if I didn't take the time to do it, but he is punished for it.
His first words were, "This looks like a 1990s bad craft fair." You're
So reminiscent of my childhood. Thank you so much for pulling.
Yeah. We're at today. We had a really successful open house, so it's selling. We did. That kind fair or not.
And I did smile at him on Saturday, so that was my form of apology.
Yeah. And you don't always have to apologize. There's certain ways to do it without actually having to say it.
Yeah. Or like, his way of apologizing will be like, "Are you hungry? Do you want lunch?"
Yeah.
I always done. Let's fix your own fed so I can still keep working, right? It's not just doing scraps. That's very true. That's very true.
The other part of it is, though, when he hates something, I know it's going to sell. So we're going to go.
He's 100%.
Yeah.
If I love something, it's not going to sell.
Yes.
100%. No question.
I got several boxes of he loved it. It's still here.
That's just there.
Yeah. I know that's a trick, right? Because then I know the product's already paid for and now it's mine.
Exactly. Yeah. Or in 30 years, when the 2020s come back in style, like the 1990s coming back in style, you already have the product and you'll be good to handle it.
You're exactly. They're trying to get ahead of the game.
Right. Right.
Well, we won't have to buy it vintage. Yeah. That'll be all now. Already own it.
It's cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we really do have the same goal at the end of the day. We need to be successful. We need to be, again, very, very much part of the community and pushing Belleville toward the goal of making sure that we are constantly improving for and with each other downtown. And, we always are trying to be ahead of the game at a constant, which he and I are, again, usually at odds with, because he is not technology. And to be honest with you, I absolutely hate it. I have zero online presence whatsoever, personally, no social presence. Yeah. But, when you own a business, you don't really have the luxury of being able to have anything that's your own, right? You have very little personal time, and that's okay. We're busy. That's, again, the goal of the business. But we do. We agree on the fact that we have to move forward as a company, and we have a lot of people relying on us. We have a lot of employees between the coffee shop and the flower shop, and we're very lucky that we found the team that we currently have. Most of them are younger, which again we appreciate. So we keep with TikTok, and we keep with things that I absolutely disregard and shouldn't, but do.
Yeah, I get it.
I just can't get into it. I just think, God, that's one more thing I have to acknowledge. I don't even like looking at email.
Yeah.
No, when you run a business, you have to focus on email, so you're constantly paying attention to your clients. But at the same time, it's like it's midnight, and the idea of having to check 50 emails, oh my God, I'd rather do anything. I really, waterboard, it doesn't matter. Hit me with it. I would rather do everything else. It's just not. And he agrees wholeheartedly.
Yeah, and it can be a black hole. Just keeping up with your email. I'm the same way. I usually do work at night in my attic, and that's usually when I'm answering non important emails that need a reply, and it's just I want to knock them out. I'm not getting interrupted, so I just get them out of the way. But because if I do it all day long, I'd never have time to get anything done.
Absolutely. I mean, truly, we close at 5 p.m., quote unquote, but like our day starts when we close. because we finally get a chance to, because, we like our clients, and I would say that's part of the problem, but that's kind of the best thing about it, is that we really have such a great relationship with our clients that when they do finally come in, we want to make sure that we are actually able to acknowledge and enjoy them.
Right. So I want to hit on, go ahead, Eric, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
No, I was going to hit on the coffee shop. It's 4 at 322, right? Or 322.
Uh-huh.
And that's dealing with the address, I assume, right? At 322.
Yes.
His name.
Mm-hmm. We still question, though, of course, what is your address? And then when we tell them the address where that is, I'm like, that's all Main Street, 3 blocks.
Right. You're right. Yes. Yeah. When you guys did start that, did you have any desire to ever have a coffee shop? Or like Eric was kind of saying earlier, is that something that just kind of, the idea came about and you just took it and ran?
No, I mean, Dad always really wanted to have a coffee shop. Initially, we had that space for retail, and it worked out great. I mean, we just added the additional retail space. We had additional space for meetings when we had events, and because, I mean, when you do events regularly, you have to have a bit of a meeting spot. You can't just sit in the middle of the store, and because people will instantly interrupt the conversation you're having. And when someone's paying you to be, with them for focus and to be on their time, you have to give them that.
Right.
But I don't know. He just said to me, I've always wanted a coffee shop, and at that point, we were running 9 directions every day to get coffee, and that wasn't really working in our favor. It was always somebody on the way back from a meeting or somebody on the way back from, an event that we had in St. Louis. And so we just said, let's do it. It took a while to find like the right coffee. And for a while we had Colby's, and that worked out really great. I think that we kind of outgrew each other, which is not a bad thing. We still create their teas. They're beautiful. They really are. And they make, in St. Louis. And then we actually have our coffee roasted for us, which we took about a year to get, to find the right roaster and to find the right blend. That was the biggest thing. Because, I mean, if we don't enjoy drinking our own coffee, I really doubt somebody else would. We have different things that he and I like, independently. I'm strictly just, black coffee or Americano. I don't do any any of the fancy stuff. And, and he likes a latte every now and then. And he doesn't do the sweet stuff, which I completely understand. But, we have a great staff that challenges us every day. They're like, we have a great recipe we want to try. This is this new trend. And I'm like, you know what? Just tell me what you need. You don't even have to get into explanation, as long as it doesn't sound completely awful. I don't be sitting on like 30 flavored, bottles of flavor. I don't care. If we can make it work and we can have some fun with it.
Right.
They really do have fun with it, and they love seasonal options, and we have some great people back there doing some great stuff.
Well, you guys do a great job, obviously, because you have the Hubers there at 7 a.m., I think, every Saturday and Sunday after workout on Saturdays, and obviously before church on Sunday. So I know the wife loves it. And that's the big thing. Like you said, it's, I think more and more people are kind of trending towards that hometown coffee, the family-owned business. Starbucks is still going to get theirs. It's still mass producing, and it's out in the main areas. But, for us, I think, and you see it at your shop too, when we walk in the store every weekend, you see the same 8 to 10 people that are always there, and they're having their coffee and they're meeting together. And I'm sure that's the same lunch crowd too. So, again, I think more people are trending towards the hometown, and I'm sure you guys feel that too, being down there in Belleville as well.
We really do. It's really awesome. I mean, there's people that I see every day, and if I don't see them for a week, I get concerned. I mean, truly, you know what I mean? You're kind of like, I wonder what happened to them. What happened? Did we make them mad? Or are they doing something out of town? And you'll see them, they're like, oh yeah, I was out of town on a meeting. I'm like, okay, just worried about where you've been.
But you can't say to them, like, maybe give us a heads up.
Yeah.
Like, see, when you see somebody 7 days a week, and then all of a sudden they disappear for 5 days, you're like, oh, how do we just send out dogs? It's just a concern. Yeah. But yeah, we have a lot of, and you're right, we have a lot of the same people that are in here on a regular basis, which we love, and they've become a family in and of itself. I mean, they'll come to us and be like, hey, you know what, I had a sandwich today and I didn't like it. I'm like, okay, what didn't you like? It didn't have enough cheese. Well, then ask for extra cheese. There was nothing wrong with the sandwich. You just wanted extra cheese today. Work with me here. But you gotta, little give and take. But we have so much walk in and walk out, which we love even more, because people just walk in, and we've had so many new people lately. We're like, we just heard about Belleville's downtown, and it's one of those downtowns they don't get to experience, because very few cities local have this kind of downtown. This is one of those incredible walkable spaces where, if you you literally cannot. I mean, I went to a meeting an hour ago. I ran into 10 people on the way there. And I was late, which was my own fault, but I was even more late trying to convince those 10 people I had to go.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the same thing our customers experience. They just constantly run into each other on a regular basis. And it's kind of Belleville in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Really kind of great. It really does give it a good feel. And it's really, I mean, it's nice to kind of, you know, I mean, it's like the only thing I don't have here is a bed and a shower, or I probably wouldn't leave. Because it just really is that homey. I mean, it's that good here for me. So
Bad in the health department.
yeah, I would like it.
Crazy health department.
Yeah.
Luckily, he has my house just in case it's late. I do. And late, it's been late nights, and we're thrilled for it. We're in. Business is a good thing. Feast or famine when it's a small business.
Yeah, I should always put a bed next door at the bungalow up like second floor or something if you had to.
Nope, those rooms. Nope. Those rooms are completely either filled with booze, that kitchen.
Yeah, no. That's when they purchased the fourth building, Stephen. That'll be
Right. It'll be a building just full of cops. You know, it'll be Peter Pan style. We'll all just hang out in there.
Yeah. Like TV and just a bunch of beds.
That's exactly right.
bed and breakfast.
Yeah. I'm sure over the next month and a half, 2 months or so, you guys will wish you had cots and stuff to take naps, just as busy as you'll be with the holiday season.
Prepare yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's got to be like kind of a, I don't want to say a love-hate, because I think that maybe the hate portion is too hard, but kind of those things where it's such a great thing, but it is so time-consuming and it does involve a lot of your time kind of things, or is it just a completely love aspect?
I'm going to tell you, but it's like anything. We all have a love-hate, right?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. There's no good way to answer that.
I think you just kind of screwed us on that question, but I appreciate your enthusiasm.
We hit you hard here, okay?
No. Honestly, well, here's the thing. You know, if we had to break down holidays, this is Jeff's holiday. Like, Dad loves Christmas. There's no question. You know, like growing up as a kid, you couldn't have asked for a more incredible Christmas. You grew up in a house with these incredible decorations, and you know, you don't really want for anything because no matter how hard he had to work, he made sure you had it, and it's all great. But it's like, you know, I, on the other hand, am not a fan of Christmas at all. I mean, I love the decor. I think that's awesome. And, you know, for us, when you're invited into a client's home, that's very intimate. I mean, you're being welcomed into someone's life and into who they are, and you're really helping create memories. And for a lot of our clients, you know, I grew up with a lot of our clients' kids. So, you know, we see each other now, you know, they're getting married, they're having families, we're decorating their homes. It's really incredible when you're getting to experience it from that kind of angle. Right. I mean, I've seen some of these people have their baptisms, and now I'm witnessing like their high school graduations, which sort of makes me feel very sick inside. Excited for them, sick for myself. But I don't know. I mean, we really do love going to these homes. We love going to these businesses. It becomes our tradition, for lack of better phrasing. And of course, you know, decorating the store for Christmas is always amazing because we love the comments from people downtown. And, you know, sometimes we just get really lovely emails. Like, you know, someone literally just wrote to us and said, I could just crawl into your window and live there. Well, that's like the sweetest thing I think I've ever heard. I, on the other hand, was just in there for 3 days. I'm good. You take it. Up there, here's the nap. You mean my skit?
Those naps between about midnight.
Yeah, the death chair, the same night. In the window. Yeah. We sat down for 12 minutes and that was about it. Nap, you know. But yeah, it was just, I don't know, we really enjoy it. So love, hate, I don't know. There really is no, it's just we love every minute of it. I think that's the most meaning.
I think I like what you said, that you can create people's memories, right? I think that's a very great concept because my childhood home just went on somebody bought it. I lived there till 20 years ago. It's, you know, parents bought it when I was just about to be born until I was 18, and it just went back on the market. Somebody kind of revamped it, and I was looking at pictures, and literally the first thoughts I thought about were, maybe it's just the time of year we're in, but it was the holidays. We'd always have a bunch of people over and just Christmas time and all that. So I think those are the things, when you get a little bit older, those are the aspects that do stick out more, you know, of your childhood per se, than maybe any other time. So I think that's a great concept.
Yeah, because I just left the house right before I came here to meet with you guys about the podcast, and you know, and what I loved about it was, you know, as the wife in the house put her hand on my shoulder and she just said, thanks for helping make a new memory. You know, I mean, what more could you ask for? Truly. And so, they're set for the year. We'll see them again around the first of the year to tear it down, and they're good to go. And so it is, there are days when you think, gosh, I just can't do one more Christmas tree. And then you go do it, and then when it's done, you're like, that was worth it, just because of somebody like that who said that.
And sometimes it's the only time we get to see certain clients.
Yeah.
Because they call in, we don't get to physically see them.
Right.
And then we just go into their house, and, some of these people are incredible. I mean, they know the staff that comes regularly, and so they'll have a literal tray of cookies. They'll make cider, they'll have coffee, and it's like, wish it was my coffee. But anyway, it's kind of. But these people are really, I mean, they're endearing and they mean well. Some of them give some of the staff just like little gifts that are different each year. They sometimes gift them an ornament from here so they can build their own trees. That's the coolest thing. So it really is a very intimate experience. And again, we're very lucky to be able to have that encounter on a regular basis.
Truly. Because we are part of people's most intimate times of their lives. And that is what is the coolest part about it, which makes it not a hate thing at all. Right.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Aggravating a little bit some days.
It's aggravating when you've just bought like 100 new sets of lights and only 2 of that 100 work. Those are the things that aggravate us. It's never the client or the job.
Yeah,
it's the knowing that you're an hour and a half from your physical location, and now you have to go buy random lights from like hardware store. Yeah. You're just like, this is classy, and you're carrying out cases and cases of. Other than that, we really are pretty lucky.
And yes, it has happened.
Multiple times.
Which then throws you off for the rest of the day, and you have to make somebody mad and push them to the next day, and then it's just not good. So that's where the hate comes in.
I'm sure Eric would agree with me, at least for a guy that does most of the decorating around the house that my wife makes me do. I feel you. I understand that pain sometimes. So
yep. Yeah. We've got the good mix of fall, Thanksgiving, Christmas. My domain, the basement, is right now set up for Christmas. So I'm the Christmas guy, which actually shocks me because my wife helped set up some of those homes when she worked for you.
Yes, she did.
That 1 year. So I'm shocked she even touched a Christmas tree for decorating.
I ran her, didn't I? Yeah. Get around her. Actually, she was great. So if she's ever not busy, let her know.
I'll let her know. Offers on the table.
Am I correct? Like 10, 12.
Yeah, because you guys did our wedding, and I think it was maybe right after that. So we've been married 13 years. I better get that right here on Live Action Podcast.
I can edit it if not. So don't.
Yeah. Please watch that, Stephen. You better make sure. We don't want Eric in trouble.
Yep. Yeah. So.
Well, good.
Yep, I remember distinctly. So, yeah.
Yep. Hey, look, we are getting up on about 30 minutes here, and you guys, we know you're busy, and we want to be respectful of your time. So, real quick, for anybody that wants to reach out to you guys with anything related to not just Christmas and decorations, but anything in general, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So, sales@grimmandgorly.com is the best way to reach us, because that's our general email that we read. And we read our own emails as well, but that is a general email that we have to be in touch with all the time, all day long. So sales@grimmandgorly.com, and and always call the store. If not, we're not here. Leave a message. We'll get back to you as quick as we can. We really will. Okay. And we appreciate this, you guys.
I'll say thank you for jumping on with us. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. Thanks, guys. All right.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
See you.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Growing Belleville Through Community Chats podcast. Please remember to follow and subscribe to this podcast and share with your friends and community leaders. For additional information from this podcast, please reach out to the Greater Belleville Chamber of Commerce.